Hi, Milo.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. So
In the flesh.
nice. We got another looker in the house. These Texas ladies, I tell ya.
I know. We're just gonna keep bringing them in one at a time.
I like it.
Stealing from Texas.
I like it.
So Erin Butler is here to help us with Doodle Bugz, which is a fun little, well, I'm gonna let you go, but a fun little, it's like you said, it's like a doodle or a sketch.
It is a sketch. You're just sketching in wool. It's an entry-level introduction to needle felting and wet felting in one fun little project. So you're not just left with a sample of something.
Yes.
You've made felt, wet felt, and those become the wings.
And it's like kind of like the hummingbirds and the little pocket gnomes and what else is like that, Milo? Where there's just tons of possibilities in terms of color and textures.
The flowers.
The flowers, yeah.
It would be fun with the flowers. I think somebody mentioned that.
I want to point out, by the way, that I have on clogs.
Wow.
I know. And a bug on my head, just to gain a little height in this situation.
Well, I'm shoeless. I'm shoeless Joe.
And Erin's shoeless.
You gotta bring it.
We are preparing a supply pack. We're jumping the gun a little bit because Erin's here when she's here, and part of what we were doing here was figuring out the supply pack. So what we're going to work with today might not be exactly what we end up with for sale, but it is going to have all the components, plus there will be more, or some substitutes or some different things, but everything will be there, plus more. So we will open the supply pack when we get started so you guys can see, and then it can make use of a lot of additional things that you have on hand, like this is just white mulberry silk, any merino, the merino silk blends.
Those are really fun to have variegated for the bodies.
Yeah.
For the heads even.
Yep. And we didn't do this so much, but even like little locks, like at the tips of something, at the tips of a wing.
Yeah, like even if this is just a poof
of
roving,
that could
but
be
it
a
could
lock.
be a lock.
And I think that's it. We already explained it's a beginner project, right? And
it's a free-for-all fun.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's an infestation, really.
It's a plague. It's a plague from Texas.
How did the police get rid of the bug infestation?
How did the police get rid of the bug infestation? I don't know how.
They called the SWAT team.
Good one, Milo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wonder if Milo just walked through our
I think he did.
Well, that makes it fun.
I don't think he was on the table, but I don't think he was in the frame. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, here's your kit. Similar to what it will look like. And we're going to start with the wet felting portion of this, which is making these little wings. So you're going to get an intro to that. And to achieve that, we are going to start with, you can set this aside. This is going to be for wrapping your body. These lovely silks are going to be for, I'm calling it bling. So anything that has sheen to it that we're going to be applying to the merino pre-felt. You have a whole collection of goodies that hopefully you'll be able to get out of the bag with more grace than me.
We're going to include organza in one way or another, which is
the wing.
Yeah.
Can you see those? Yeah, so we're not sure if that'll come in the form of ribbon or a bag that you cut up, but this is organza as well. And so there's no telling what color, but they often add a nice little pop and sheen to the back and just kind of an ephemeral nature to them. You don't need them. We've made plenty without, but you know, they're all different. They all take on a life of their own. So again, we're going to start with the pre-felt. So this time I think I'll pick a piece of, well, you know what? I'm going to go with the green after all. So,
I'm going to go with the gold.
Okay. We also have neps for adding texture. So those will be fun. And you should have like a little pair of eyes, or you'll have little eyes included in this bag as well, so watch for those.
Yeah, we're gonna make, the kit will make 6 bugs. Did I say that in the beginning? I should have said that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, we're gonna have enough in here to make 6 bugs. So I'm gonna move these guys out of the way and get my materials lined up. Okay, so this again is gonna be for the dry process. The needle.
This
felting.
Erin does have the merino in it.
Oh, okay,
if
great.
you want to.
Yeah,
That
all right.
coordinates with the pre-felt.
Super. Okay, so the reason the merino is being included, I'm gonna sometimes refer to this as glue. Don't get distracted by me calling this glue when we're gonna be using super glue too for like the little things like eyes and antennae. But really I feel like it's just an insurance, an added insurance to hold your silk and bamboo or silk on top. Because those things on their own do not felt. So we're going to be doing 2 things. We're going to be taking a coordinating merino. We're going to fluff the top. Now try your best to just, I don't know if this will even show up on camera, but I'm just lifting some of the fuzz. And actually if it's pulling off, just lay it back down on the piece. And you can see how this is a pre-felt, so it's only been felted, you know, part of the way. It's not a felt.
Oh, welcome to that.
Yeah. We're well protected. So without making it too distorted, you know, you just want to pluck the surface.
Keep plucking while the trash is here, because they're going to keep barking.
Okay, so while you're plucking, make sure that you're kind of methodical about this. It's not that big of a deal. I want you to just have fun with this, but do, you know, make sure that your silk is going to stick on the corners as well, because what we're going to do is we're going to fashion these to look. So out of each piece of pre-felt, you can get 2 pairs of wings. So the way that this has already been felted and shrunk down. So I will cut this and I'll effectively get 2 wings here and 2 wings here. So we're going to think of this, go ahead and orient it in portrait mode there. So now you've got this all plucked. I'm going to show you my wet felting station. It's very basic, and if you have another way that you like to do this, if you're not a beginner, feel free to do that. All I've got is I've got a towel folded over. I've got a small piece of bubble wrap. I'm going to put it bubble side up. This is some netting. I'm going to put the back side, the wool side that I haven't plucked on that. So I've got it in portrait orientation so I can think about these kind of becoming the tips of the wings. Not that you're married to any particular shape with this, it just kind of helps give you that idea. All right, so there's a lot of merino that's going to be included, but don't be tempted to use an awful lot of it. You're going to pull it out, and if y'all are familiar with drafting, you're just going to pull tiny little pieces, and those can be just clouded over. You know what I mean? Even like this, it's just going to add some extra stickage for your silk on the top and your neps. I'm going to spread that all over, just very lightly. I don't even know if it shows up on camera.
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yep.
Finley.
Yes, he needs to lay down. Sorry about that.
Look at him, he looks all guilty. He's like, just all the rugs are taken. I don't know. What do I do?
Okay, so you can see that technique here is not really crucial. We're just trying to get little wisps all over. And really, a little bit does the trick. It's just, like I said, added insurance that the pre-felt, the wool, is going to grab your silk.
Do we want to do and or talk about if they have silk hankies? So
Yes.
when we do the tutorials, like things keep changing. So maybe 4 months from now we sell all kinds of dyed silk hankies.
Okay.
And it's just right now we only have them in white.
Okay.
But I have some dyed ones, but people might have them in their stash.
Yeah, okay, well great. Let's go ahead and build it
Yeah.
based on that. Okay, so
Like
now,
if you wanted to do one on the back. Like
yeah,
we're talking
okay.
about that.
So the backs of the wings on these thus far haven't had anything done to them. They have little wing stays. We'll talk about that in a bit to hold them up in a
So
humid
this
environment.
Kind of goes with your.
Yeah, this looks great. Okay, so this is
Ooh.
a beautifully dyed hanky, and it's probably going to stick to me all the heck, but you can peel one-ish layer off. It helps to have a friend when you're working with hankies.
Yeah, just you kind of stretch them like a pizza dough.
Yeah. But this is an option for doing something on the back that just adds a little bit of extra color, a little extra sheen.
These will
Big
not be
Kyla.
in the kit.
These won't be
They
in the
won't be in the
kit.
kit.
Just feel free to raid your stash and do something. I did not pick the back, but you know what? You would probably want to do that,
Okay.
I would say. What I can do now, since I haven't, and I've got all that merino down, I can just put a little bit down here really quickly.
We have made pretty much all of these without silk on the back. It's just something that Erin thought might give it a little.
You know what I
like
just
so
did?
that the back.
I just did this. I'm not thinking backwards. So I'm going to put this here and I'm going to try to get it to stick.
Oh, you wanted to put it in between the.
Yes. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It worked. All right. So I'm going to take this. I learned a Scottish word for a big old mess, and it's called stramash. So this is a stramash.
I like it when words sound like what they mean.
It is. It's very. Wait, is that onomatopoeia? Onomatopoetic?
Yes, I
Is that
think so.
onomatopoetic? Is that a word? Okay, I think I have like too much
God bless
hanky
you.
here. Yeah. Here, Kyla, help. Free me.
Oh, just throw it in my station.
Okay.
That's fine.
No problem.
Okay, so I'm just going to stretch this. If you have any hangnails that will stick to you like nobody's
A little
business.
Dry
rough spot on
hands.
Yeah. Somebody said lemon juice helps. Like if you kind of rub your hands with lemon juice. That doesn't appeal if I have a hangnail, but. All right, so that's my back. For better or worse, we've got something on there. And because this is on netting, I can use that to kind of help me flip it back over here. Y'all are going to be so confused now.
I'm sorry.
Know that it's sticking to this. It's fine. I can move it around. I don't want you to be afraid that you can't move this around. And if you have to start from scratch, big deal. You've got plenty of merino to kind of do it over again, but I don't think you should have that problem at all. All right, so now we're going to think about this as our top set of wings. We, again, have our towel. We have bubble wrap. We have netting. And this is a piece of voile. So we will use that on the top because what you want to do is start with cold soapy water, or room temp, I would say, soapy water. Because what happens when you're wet felting, the merino is going to want to shrink first. So if you add heat to that and agitation, it's just going to felt too quickly and it won't grab on to our non-felting fibers. So we want to work really slow. When you first start rubbing this, I want you to just barely tickle the surface. So that's definitely something
Show
to
me
think
what
about.
it feels like, Erin.
You
Show me what.
Oh, yay! All right. Okay, let me talk about something that I've made that can add a real element of fun. They're not going to be in the kit. There's something that you can do on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I made this little lavender shape is I took silk,
Okay.
3 layers of it. It can be different colors.
Okay.
And I sprayed it with spray starch. So you've got a piece of parchment paper.
Okay.
a thin layer of silk going this way, a thin layer of silk going this way, a thin layer of silk going this way. So 3 very fine layers, spray starch, more parchment paper. Heat of an iron, low iron until it dries. So you've got it sandwiched between parchment paper to protect your iron. Once it's dry, you can cut it. You can cut it into fun shapes.
We've done confetti.
Where's the one with the stripy wings?
Spots.
Oh, he's over here. Look how fun this is. Just stripes.
Yeah.
So that's using this technique. It's not this particular one.
Here, this one has big spots.
Yeah,
like
big
that.
spots. So that's a fun way to use it as a shape. And the rest will just draft, which is just pulling. So what I will do is I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut some of this. Just do some really big, bold shapes.
Let's see. Will you pass me the teal and the silk? I'm going to work without it and just work with what's in the kit.
Well, I can do that too.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We should show both.
And what we're going to do, and don't feel like this has to
I want my
be
neps too.
perfect. Neps.
Neps are in the kit.
Texture neps.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry I'm taking too long for this. So, and something we need to think about, if we start layering so much silk on, so I'm going to do a mirror image of these, just kind of tucked up in the corners there. Or maybe I'll save these. I'm going to put some silk down first. So this is going to give you your sheen. Anything that's merino is going to read matte finish. And so I want this to be shiny and blingy. This is a pretty boring one. I don't like that one. I'll put some green on there.
I think we picked out 6 colors of silk.
We did. They're really pretty.
Yeah.
They're
a little different than what we're working
yet.
with today, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to get overall coverage without it being too thick because I want to make sure it grabs. And another thing, I'm going to keep these pretty basic. I am going to put some neps on though. So what I want to tell you about neps, I just learned this to tell you the truth. I always thought that you needed to hold them down. Sometimes it's hard to get them to stick. But really, I was using wool to tack it down. And it's counterintuitive, but you use silk, which doesn't have the sticking power, I would think. Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken just the tiniest little wisp of merino. Because I've got silk here, I'm going to put my wool glue right there. And then I'm going to put this over it. These tend to delaminate too, so some of the layers will come apart, but no matter.
The starch pieces.
Yes, the starch pieces. And one of the cool things actually, when you've used 2 colors, say like the gold and the green, this is fun. Watch. You can just cut, well, I'm going to cut a little strip. And then confetti, and it just ends up breaking up both layers separately, and they just kind of fall where they will. And it's a fun overall pattern. Can you see?
Yeah.
Teal.
I'm going for kind of like a jewel toned.
Trick is to get enough on here, but not so much that it won't stick. Because the more silk we get on there, the further away we are from the wool glue, the pre-felt underneath. Okay, so now because what I told you about the neps, we're gonna hold those down. I'm gonna put a little bit. Well, those aren't contrasty enough. I need the blue ones. No, I want white. I'm indecisive. It's a good thing we have 4 choices. So I'm just going to put a little clump on each one. Again, I'm mirroring this. Okay, so to hold that down, I just want a few little, like barely any of this silk. And I'm just going to go over the top of it. It won't really impact my design much, but it's just going to be enough to grab onto those neps and just kind of staple them down.
I want a white clump. I'm totally stealing
I
that.
know, right?
I'm going to hopefully get your way to just show your layout.
Okay.
All right, I got that a little bit. There's your layout.
Oops, I'm sticking on it. So
Do we have our silk? Or is that all we've got for the...
this is,
Can we use these two?
that
was out of the kit.
yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But you can use other.
Okay,
other
so we've
things.
got 2 sets of wings here, but now I have to build this one. So this one I think I'll just do with roving and texture. I'll say silk top. So merino roving silk top. And I don't know why, I like to imagine the wings coming
Ooh,
this
that's
way, so
pretty.
I always kind of lay the fiber that way. And it's okay if it comes off the edges, you can kind of just shove that back in as you're wet felting. You'll get it all wet first and then see what happens there. So one thing, we're gonna have a color in it called dark, is that right?
Yes.
So that'll give you kind of a blackish, good punch. I find that with these, it's fun to have a little bit of dark, just to kind of make things pop. Like, and the legs serve that purpose in a lot of these that we've done. But it just really kind of serves to wake it up. Or anchor the color. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm on about, people. No idea.
Just keep talking.
I'll just keep talking. Okay, so look, mix your nuts. Go crazy. I'm gonna have them. Okay, I want to show
like
you.
a nice bowl of mixed nuts.
That's right.
When I belly up to the fiber bar.
Just so funny. Okay, you know what? There's something that we discovered the other day that was really fun.
Who?
All of us, all us.
We did?
All us gals. This, yes. Okay, so the other day I brought a piece similar to this. It was already felted. So I decided to go ahead and cut it in one piece. These wings and this body cover are one piece. So if you want, you can plan wings and a body. So let's just call this one wing each side and then a body cover. So we're still we're gonna needle felt the tummy, and then you can kind of just wrap this like a little carapace cover. And that'll be fun. Okay, so again, I've put neps here. I'm just gonna put a little something over them.
This was revolutionary to me, because I always thought that there had to be wool, even to hold the silk on.
I did too.
So, with Erin's technique of, I feel like it frees you up a little bit without having to put the dull wool over the
Exactly.
shiny stuff.
Okay, so just a little of these. And if they don't stick, they don't stick. I haven't stapled those down with anything. But. Okay, let's get this thing wet.
I'm ready.
Okay. So, clear this. Any of your fibers that you want to preserve and you don't want them to get wet, make sure they're to the side, because we don't know where this water's going.
We don't know where it's been.
We don't know where it's been. Okay, so here is a piece of voile, which is just like a polyester fiber. that's really, really smooth and pretty tight weave. You can see through it. It's translucent. Sorry, apologies for my nose. So we've got a ball blouse.
Yes.
We've got soapy water. This just has Dawn in it, a little bit. And we're going to keep a bar of soap to the side as well, because I feel like, okay, let me show you. What?
I just need that when you're done.
Okay. With the ball blouse, don't just let it dribble. Wait here. Don't just let it dribble like that. Squeeze it, and then you get the nice spray. Okay? Because sometimes when it just dribbles, it's going to move your layout. And that we don't want. We want everything to have a chance to marry and tighten up before you start getting very aggressive with this. And I use the term aggressive, but in the nicest way. Gently aggressive.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I've got this lovely ingupulated bar of soap. I'm just going to press the air out. And if you have a problem with anything in your layout, honestly, these are freeform. These look amazing when it's just impressionist. They're like little impressionist paintings. And I feel like I don't even care that these don't match up. But if you are being OCD, you can lift this back up once you've pressed this down very carefully. And to do that, you want to make sure all your fibers are staying, and you're just being very gentle. If you see anything sticking here, make sure that it's rubbed back down, or it's going to pull it off of your design.
But if it's all good, don't lift it just yet.
Don't lift it yet. But see, if that bugs you, then do that. It might move again.
If
If it bugs you. Know your crowd.
If that bugs you, then doodly do this.
Doodly
Do it.
Okay, so I like my hands wet. I like to have a bowl of water close by so that I can just really feel what I'm doing. Do you need a soap, Sarah?
Yes, please.
So right now I am just pressing the soap in and the air out.
So we've got soapy hands.
So to make felt, you need water, you need soap, and you need agitation. When we begin, we're going to just...
Darn you, Erin.
I am tickling. I'm tickling the surface.
She is agitated with you.
Are you agitated?
I was going to agitate you.
Oh, God. No. Okay, don't listen to Black Sabbath when you're doing very gentle felting, because I've had that problem before, and I ruined a spot because it was just not mellow enough. So pick your tunes wisely when you begin. Okay, so look. What I'm doing is I am flattening my hands. I'm not using my fingers. I'm not tickling. I am using very light, gentle, even pressure. And if it's just one hand, because it's just a small piece, hold your work down like here until you get it to a point where you feel like you can flip it. Because we are going to work both sides of this at the same time. All right, I don't know if you can see it, but right now I'm going to peel this up because I've got a lot of fiber kind of migrating off, and I'm going to either roll that to the back of my work, because it'll definitely stick to that wool on the back.
Oh, I've got a big old hanky.
There is a big old
Sticking
hanky,
off.
but you can just kind of fudge it. You can push in with your fingers. And if something, this might end up getting cut off. You don't need to be too particular about this. I just find that it's easier to have it on something other than this netting underneath, because then it doesn't want to stick as much to that. Your goal is to have things not stick to the netting. You want it to stick to your wool and your fabric.
I feel like if you bring this along, maybe say some nice things to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the opposite of agitating.
I know.
So you
Cajole.
need to agitate
You coax
with love.
your wool.
Coax.
Actually, my Instagram says wool coaxer.
Yes.
So
you're
you
like
know.
you're a fiber
I
whisperer.
am a fiber whisperer. That sounded cliche though. So I
It's
figured
very cliche.
wool coaxer.
We go for campy and cliche.
Yeah. Okay. So again, flat palms. If you feel it's drying out, if you feel like you've got friction on your voile fabric on the top, go ahead and add some more soap to your paws. So what we're getting with the bubble wrap is it is agitating the back for us. It's got that knubbly texture. And I pronounce all my K's, even in silent words, so knubbly is totally a word.
Like gnome.
Gnome. Yeah. Knob.
Good to know you.
Good to know you. Yes. Okay. So now I've kind of gentled that side. I'm going to peel it, make sure nothing's sticking. So I'm going very slowly. I'm using my hand to kind of pull this down where it is sticking a little bit, just very, very gently. I'm liking how this is looking though. Okay, because we've made effectively a sandwich on top of our bubble wrap, that's always going to stay on the bottom. Now I want to work with this from the back a little bit. So I'm going to lift the whole thing up gently and flip it. So this netting is going to be, I'll use the word aggressive again, but it's more textured. It's more open weave. So you want to keep peeling it back. That's the trick, to keep peeling it back because your fiber will migrate through here. We're still using a very gentle pressure. Now, if you are experienced wet felters, you've done this before. I really think this project lends itself to somebody, you know, you could be a fabulous dressmaker, felt dressmaker, and still enjoy this project. And the freedom that is afforded by, okay, so when you're felting something, you want it to be square. Everybody's like focused on, you know, not getting these butterflied edges. Well, shoot, we're making bug wings. Mm-hmm. So butterfly effect, great. I enhance that by kind of, your fiber's going to shrink in the direction that you're rubbing. So sometimes I kind of could, stop it. Sarah, get your mind out of the gutter.
I said nothing.
You've implied. It's enough. Okay, so it's still delicate, and again, I'm going to keep peeling. You're a case.
Not helpful over there.
You're going to have to go sit in Felter's corner.
Know.
Did you hear about the two bed bugs who met in the mattress? While we're on the subject,
No.
Yeah.
they got married in the spring. Bringing you back. I'm bringing you back.
Okay, so have you peeled?
Have I peeled?
Have you peeled?
I'll peel.
Peel. It's like bananagrams. See, Sarah's is sticking. She didn't
No,
peel.
it's not.
I saw it. It was
No,
sticking.
nobody knows. They can't see it.
So silk has a real tendency to pull through this netting.
Whose
And we
idea was
have
it to put
silk
silk on the
hankies.
back right here?
I don't know. Somebody suggested it midway, and so now they're going to be so confused as to how to layer. Yeah, if you are to put something on your back, start with your silk, then put little wisps of the merino, and then put your pre-felt, and then build your front. Just to reiterate. Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, I'm kind of enhancing that butterfly technique, or not technique, tendency. Yeah, by doing this a little bit, whether it matters or not. Okay, so we're going to keep working this front and back, so I'm going to flip it yet again so that the voile is on the top. And because this has been getting worked by the bubble wrap that is underneath everything, I'm going to peel it up and just make sure we don't have any sticking. There's a little, you can't see it, but it's not bad at all. Okay, we've come off of the bubble wrap a little bit. There we go.
So basically, rub gently, flip back and forth, be gentle but aggressive.
Be gentle but aggressive, yes. You have to, you know what, bread makers have a total head start in this, you know, because you learn how to do this by the feel.
Yes, there's a analogy in horseback riding that I really liked, which was that you held the reins as if you were holding 2 baby birds in your hands. So you've got to keep them secure, but not squeeze.
Not squished them to death.
And so it's like mindful, I think, is the
It is.
purposeful.
Be conscious of your breath.
Oh wow,
doing
we're gonna breathe too.
Yes, yes.
Well,
You wanna
not
be-
breathing would be a problem.
You want to be somewhat relaxed about this. I mean, really, just and you're not going to fail. There's no failing.
No,
it's
I
felt.
haven't failed yet.
It's just felt. What's the worst that could happen? This is a freeing exercise because there's no rhyme or reason. You don't have to replicate a bug. You don't have to replicate an animal. You don't have to, this is a little fantasy creature. Your goal is just to take it nice and easy and get this silk to adhere to the merino. Nice flat hands. I had a lot of people at the workshop last night that were tickling like this. That's not very effective.
Okay, good to know.
When in doubt, peel. See what you got. So once we feel like this is sticking, we're gonna do a little pinch test to see if we've created a skin. These are sticking.
Yeah.
And if we're getting close to that,
Mine's sticking in a good way,
great.
not in the.
Yeah, mine is too. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead. If you have the mesh, I feel like I like to get this a little firmer with the mesh, so I sandwich my extra over the top. And then I may add a little bit more water and soap at this point.
Oh, now you're getting aggressive.
Well, it's still pretty soft. It sounds more aggressive just because you've got the bubble wrap crinkling under there, and you've got the, but it's light. I'm letting the some do the work more than anything. I'm just kind of slow going after it like this. Uh-oh, water bottle. Get some vibrations.
Mine's gonna be better felted than ever because I'm
Yes.
doing it in Aaron time.
Their time you would have been done 5 minutes ago.
Yes, and
Okay,
yes.
so at this point, I
I
really
get that.
do like to kind of create that. So felting is kind of getting things to stick, and then fulling is when you're really shrinking the fabric up. So we're gonna get some fulling in this like technique where you're kind of rubbing in, but so I'm gonna peel this up, and I feel like this is working great. I don't know if you can see that. See how the pink has just stapled that down, those neps?
I love the way it gets down in between the neps and like almost accentuates them by.
It's true, it does. do that.
Like cauliflower. Like
Would have been helpful information before the octopus.
Ah.
Those nets are falling off.
Are they? Okay, so wait, did you wet felt the entire?
Yes.
You did?
Well, the head and the skirt.
Yeah. Oh,
But the silk.
you could put silk all over him and
Yeah.
have him blinged out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now I am getting after this a little bit more, and I want to check my back because I haven't done that for a while. So I want to make sure that, see, it's sticking. So we want to make sure we pull that off. And we can flip this again. I'm going to flip this just the one last time, work the back a little bit more, and then I'm going to start rolling. Because I feel like this is firmed up somewhat. And we can do that. So I like, with these little guys, to have some, we don't need a pool noodle, it's just a tiny little project. If you have a bamboo roller, like bamboo sushi mat, that can work. It's over there. But you don't even need that. Look what we're going to do. We're going to leave all of this intact. We've got our towel doubled over. And we're gonna do a tight, but not to the point where we end up with wrinkles.
So the towel will dry this out a little bit when you roll
will.
the towel in.
And so we might have to add a little bit more water. And it actually helps to have a damp towel because we're sliding on this.
Okay.
You know what? Something that's nice to have, I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is just non-stick. This is either drawer liner. You can get this at Home Depot for your cabinets, or rug pad. But hopefully you can kind of guess the gauge of this one. It doesn't have to be that super heavy duty one. It's nice to have it down sometimes because then it'll prevent
really
everything
roll.
from. Yeah, it'll prevent this from slipping all over the place. Yeah. So now I'm getting my towel staying
Some
in place.
traction.
Yeah. So we're going to roll in this direction. You know, I'm not going to give you any specific amount of rolls that you have to do. If this were like a scarf or something. Okay, now it is getting dried out. You do want this to be somewhat damp. And I have quite a mess here. You could only see the rest of it. Wait, I don't need this. What happened, towel?
Where's a Bug's favorite place to shop?
Oh God, we're really bad at these.
Oh, yes, and then I feel even stupider when I hear the answer. I don't know where, my love.
At the flea market.
Oh God!
Naturally.
My skirt is from the flea market. I should have known that one. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more soap just to kind of keep things in slickened. That's a word. Okay, this time I'm gonna roll from this direction, and I'm gonna make sure that things aren't sticking again to my netting. But I'm leaving the netting on to protect everything from moving, just in case it's so inclined. So the fiber tends to shrink in the direction you're rolling. It will get shorter. This length will get shorter. And now I am applying pressure. The whole table is vibrating. Go ahead, double entendre queen. What you got?
I got nothing.
got
I'm
nothing?
just over here innocently
Working.
felting my fiber. Like the delicate flower that I am.
You are the precious thing.
The innocent angel.
Okay. So another thing that works with these little pieces is shocking the fiber with hot water once you feel like everything's sticking. So what we haven't done at this point is roll in the other direction. And I think what I'll do is put it face down and put it in this mat. You can see because I've used any number of things that there's no real rhyme or reason. You're just
If
trying
people
to
are
make
trying
it
to
stick.
actually follow, they're like, wait, put that
Wait, what
aside. Pull this, wait, that.
We always recommend watching the tutorial first.
Yeah. Okay.
Or this-
Really, all I was doing was getting it. I just want you to know that there are any number of ways to wet felt, and
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
It's
to learn.
I don't want you to feel like you have to have this material. You might have something in your home that will work just fine. I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I'm gonna go and put this under hot water. What I like to do when I'm at home, Sarah has her water heater set at like 1,000,000. So what I like to do is set a pot on the stove and just have it ready for me to dunk this in, and make sure, you know, we're dealing. I have a dedicated dye pot that I use because you don't know if some of these fibers are going to run. I dye a lot of my own fibers, and so I use a dedicated dye pot for this. Yeah, so just you're going to shock it in a little bit of hot water. What that does is opens up the There's got to be a technical term for that.
Wool
is kinky.
The barbs, the hot
Yeah,
water.
yeah, it
opens
just
up the barbs a
it
little?
does.
And
then
the
you
cold
can
water
the cold water
shuts them back down.
Exactly. So it's just a process of going back and forth with a hot and cold. And so see how I've gotten this kind of butterfly effect with my wings?
I'm just rolling mine in my hand. Is that a thing?
That is totally a thing. Look, I'm gonna do that too.
You can pull it and tug it kind of the way that you want it to be,
You can.
is what I'm observing.
So what I would do is I would dump this in hot water and then I just kind of flump it. Flumping is a technical
You
term
started
too.
using it, yeah.
So I'm not getting too crazy. You want to make sure that your fibers are sticking before you attempt something like this. You get a lot of fun little kinky texture, like little squiggly texture with your silks when you do this, which I tend to like in the bug. And it's also kind of raising these neps to some degree too, which is
All
cool.
right, you gotta flump, people.
You gotta flump.
I don't know how well you can see that, but
If you want your doodle bug to shine, you gotta flump.
You gotta flump.
I like it when there's sentences that I never thought I would say in my life coming out of my mouth.
Yes.
You're right.
See? That's all a good
flumping the
thing.
bomb.
Flumping is cool. Yeah, when you don't need a straight line, it's brilliant.